What's up, guys? Jay Lee here. Got another Northwest podcast. Got a beautiful dark night here in the Seattle area, and spring is trying to come. Spring is just about here. Not quite, because it's still a bit cold, but it's just about here. We got March Madness coming up, basketball. Of course, I'm a Gonzaga fan. Not sure if they're going to make it to the tournament this year because they got knocked out by St. Mary's. Not sure how that works. I gotta look that up. But obviously, I'm a casual fan. I'm not a hardcore fan. But I grew up in Spokane, so I appreciate Spokane elite basketball. And I played basketball in high school myself. So that's always fun, right? Gonzaga usually does pretty well in the March Madness tournament. But they lost to St. Mary's, I think, for the first time in like 20 years, maybe. It used to be it always has been a big rivalry. Always has been a big battle between those two. But aside from that, man, I just love being outside, love being in the outdoors. I will say one thing about Seattle is it does have beautiful scenery, beautiful landscape, lots of trees, It's a beautiful place if you're a writer. It's a beautiful place if you're a loner. It's a beautiful place if you like photography like myself. It's a beautiful place, just to look at if you really like lush trees and scenery, things like that. But it's not a great place if you're a conservative. It's not a great place if you're a traditionalist. You have traditional morals. Anyway, it's not the best place, but I think people here are cold. I think people here are not all that friendly, but there's friendly people everywhere. You will meet some nice people here. Anyways, I just wanted to catch up with you guys and see how everything's going. It's been a long time since I've made, or at least consistently made, podcasts on this channel. And just kind of wanted to catch up, say hello, how's everybody doing? I think 4 years ago, I was just putting out videos, so many videos, 4 or 5 years ago. And last couple years, even particularly since the pandemic, I kind of dropped off. I've done a lot of growth, done a lot of personal growth, I wouldn't say self-searching or self-seeking, but I think I've grown a lot. I feel more confident. I feel more intelligent. I feel more mature in a lot of ways. I've been through a lot of things. My mom getting sick and things like that, and just dealing with, certain things in life, and then just getting older, growing in age. And I think it's true that things get better. I think it's true in life that as you grow older and mature, and I think things start to change. But life takes work. Life takes work. And I made a podcast a while ago. Let me see if I can eliminate PQ. Trying to cut through this little area here, but I think I took the wrong turn. Obviously you guys can't see much here, but yeah, life. I'm just trying to walk and trying to find the best route out here to walk. There it is. Okay. But life's a trip, man. I think in a sense, I guess what makes life good is the ups and the downs. What makes life worth living in a way is the peaks and the valleys that you go through. I think it's different for everybody. Seasons, I guess, if you read the book of Ecclesiastes, we've all got seasons in life. I'm just out here trying not to get shot. Because apparently they put out a memo in my apartment complex. They put out a memo. I don't know why I'm whispering. Well, it's late, I guess. But yeah, they put out a memo saying there's a lot of carjackers out lately, and I think there's a lot of poverty starting to come to America a little more. Heard stuff that they're starting to end benefits and things like that for people, and I guess that's one one blessed thing about Seattle is, in a way, it can be bad, but in a way, it's pretty safe. Washington is a pretty safe state, but of course, bad stuff happens everywhere. I'm not sure if you guys can hear. Let me stop for a second. Not sure if you guys can hear those frogs or whatever the hell those are, tadpoles, I don't know. I always love the sound of that though in the spring when the frogs are out mating or whatever. It's nice. But what was I talking about? Yeah, seasons in life, man. We go through seasons in life, and that's part of growing up, part of growing old, part of maturing, you know. I think if I could give some advice, I would say go through the seasons, you know, and do your best. Try not to get too caught up in your emotions or get too caught up in things that you don't have, things that you want. I'm not saying don't plan, don't make goals. I'm not saying don't make goals. Do plan, do make goals. Do your best to chase things that you want. Pray, you know, give your life to God. Give him precedent as much as possible, you know, and hopefully your goals can align with his righteousness and his purpose and things like that. Yeah, my advice would be to go through the seasons. Maybe I'll do it like this. It's just so dark, you guys can't see nothing. I always loved neighborhoods. Growing up in Spokane, I just was kind of a kid who was always outside. I was a kid who was always walking around, riding my bike. I mean, I stayed inside too, you know, read a lot, watched a lot of movies, things like that. Have hobbies, you know. It's one good advice I would say to men. Have hobbies, you know. Don't dwell on things, you know. Find something that makes you, you know, enjoy life, you know. For me, like I collect books, you know. I do photography. I like to read. I like to learn. You know, I like art, really getting into art, really enjoying and appreciating art, because the cool thing about art and paintings is they can capture moments in life that remind you of things, and they elicit an emotion that you once felt in certain places. Like say you went to the beach, or say you were out on the town and you saw this beautiful area. You know, art does that. It brings you back and you're like, wow. And I will say, you know, there is something to be said for getting out and doing things. You know, you got to get out and do things too. You really do. You got to get out and do things. This is all stuff that I would just tell any man, you know, anybody really. You got to get out and do things. You got to enjoy life to the best of your ability, despite all the bad things that are happening in the world, despite all the probably negativity in your own life. You got to get out and do things, and you got to enjoy things and appreciate things, you know. That's why I like art, because, you know, you look at a painting, you look at a photograph or something, and it just makes you feel a certain type of way. Now, the reason why I say you got to get out and do things is because you don't want to just sit inside looking at art all day either. Like, you want to go out and you want to experience that. You want to get out there and really be in that picture, you know, live that moment if you can. And I think that the cool thing about the world and the cool thing about God and what he created, you know, is that I think wherever you are, I mean, yes, there's definitely some cities and some places that just stink and there's nothing there and it's a dirt town and there's nothing. But even then, I think that you can find it. You can find beauty in your city. You can find beauty in like certain neighborhoods and things like that. Something that I've always loved is to go walking around in neighborhoods. I just love houses. I love how people, you know, put certain types of fences up, how people